Hello and welcome back to the Listening Skills course. This is round 3. If you haven't listened to 1 and 2 yet, I suggest you find those videos. Round 1 taught us to count along to the sound of the ringing so that we can, the activity was to hear where one bell didn't sound, but it was just the ruse to get you to count with the sound of the ringing. In the second round, Rocky Rounds, some bells were slightly too early or too late. If we're counting the rhythm, then we hear that the bell sounds off the beat, and the activity was to try and hear where those are and train ourselves to count on that beat. In this round, we're trying to do something a bit different. We're listening for different notes of bell, the sounds of each bell separately, and specifically we're looking for the highest note bell, the treble, and the lowest note bell, the tenor, and trying to pick out where they are. So I'm going to play you a random change, all the bells, 6 or 8 bells, in different order. If you've got the booklet, you want page that looks like this, that says round 3, so you can see I've written out 1 to 6, and again I would with my pencil just go along the numbers as you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then loop back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as you go across. And then when you think you've got the highest note, put your pencil down or your pen down, hold it in place, and then the next run through, listen for the other sounds. Are they as high as that note? So if you think, well, it could be the 3, but then the 5 sounded quite high, especially if the 1 and the 2 are quite far apart, maybe the 2 and the 5. It can be hard to tell, well, which one is it? So if you put your pencil down where you think, so at least you've got that it's 2 or 5, and then you can go, okay, that was that high, and that was only that high, that high's higher. So you can then pick out which one it is. And the same with the tenor. I personally would listen to it, just aim for the treble. To be fair, it's the more important one. When you're ringing, the point of listening for the treble is that, in a lot of methods, something happens when the treble leads. So there's a dodge, or it just is an anchor point where you can get back because it's a new lead end, and you can hear. If you can hear where that is, it can give you a clue as to where you are in the pattern and get back. The tenor, not so important for most people. It might be important to sort of hear where it is if you're calling it and you're not calling it from the tenor itself, to hear that it's up at the back or something like that. But really it's just an exercise in listening to the different notes, and by listening for the extremes it's going to be easier. But ultimately, if you can hear your specific bell note and you can hear it in the rounds because you know you're the third bell, and then as you're ringing the changes you can hear, okay, well that's my sound, that's my note, and it's my note that's sounding a bit iffy, the striking's not that great, well then you know you need to do something about it. So just trying to train you to hear the different notes. Right, I'm rambling on it again. Let's just do the example. What I'm going to do is, when I hear the sound, if I think I found the treble, I'm going to put a top mark over the position where I think I heard the treble. And then when I hear the tenor, I'm going to put that mark underneath. So just drawing a line above for the treble, for the high one, and below the position for the tenor. Okay, but let's play the example and I'll see. I'm going to count along with it as well, like I have with all of the exercises, to keep my place. Right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm pretty sure that's the highest one. Bum, 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 bum. Right, listen for the tenor. Bum, 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 bum. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it's the 5. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing there. I'm listening to it and I'm listening for the higher notes. Now it might be that you do it one by one. You go, okay, boom, and then it goes higher. Oh, so it's not the 1 then. Then you listen for the 2. Da, da, da. Does any go higher than the 2? Or it might be just listen to the change, just scanning through until you get a sense of what it sounds like. Da da dum, bum bum bum, bum bum bum, bum bum bum. And you can then hear that highest peak and that lowest valley, and then you can mark up which one you think is high and the low. If you don't have that printout, it's really not a problem. You can either just write down your answer, write down the first number as the treble and the second number the tenor, just where you think it is, or you can just write out the numbers 1 to 6 and put the marks on like the sheet. It's entirely up to you, but we're 5 minutes in already and I haven't started yet, so let's just get cracking on question 1 Here it is. Okay, so like with all of these, the advantage of YouTube is that you can rewind the video and listen to that again if you weren't quite sure, if you just want to hear it a few more times. But I'll ramble on it between each one just to give you that little chance before I just reveal the answer. But here is the answer, if you've already done that. It is that the treble was in seconds position, okay, and the tenor was in fifths. So well done if you got that. If you didn't, go back and listen to it again, see if you can hear that highest peak on the second note and the low just before the end. Okay, but if you are happy, then we'll move on to question 2. Here it is. Right, so again, time to rewind if you want to, but if not, here's the answer to question 2. The treble was in thirds place and the tenor was right next to it. So you had the 1, 2, 3, boom, dum, boom. You had that sort of gap there, and then you had the numbers there. Okay, so treble in thirds, tenor in fourths. Well done if you got that. Otherwise, go back and have another listen, or let's move on to question number 3. Right, that was question 3. Time to rewind if you want to, but if not, here's the answer. The treble was in first place and the tenor was in third place. So well done if you got that. We'll move on to question 4. Here it is, coming up. Okay, time to rewind if you want. If not, here's the answer. Question 4. The tenor came up in second place and the treble was right at the end in sixth place. Okay, moving on. Same thing again. Question 5. Okay, that was question 5. Rewind time if you want, but if not, here's the answer. The treble was in second place and the 4 was in fourth place. Not the 4, the tenor was in fourth place. A treble in 2 and tenor in 4. Have I done that every time? Hopefully not. Anyway, here is question 6. Okay, that was question 6. Rewind if you need to, but if not, or if you already have and you're coming the second time round, here's the answer. We've got the treble over in 5th place, and we've got the tenor in 3rd place. Go back and listen to it again if you don't believe me. If I make a mistake, then make sure you tell me down in the comments. But otherwise, let's move on to question 7. And here's the sound. Okay, that was question 7. Just a moment so you can rewind before we give the answer, which was that the tenor was 1st and the treble was in 4th place. Well done if you got that. Question 8, here it comes. Okay, so rewind time, or stay tuned for the answer. The answer for question 8 was that the treble was in 2nd place and the tenor was in 3rd place. Why is that doing that? There we go. Yeah, treble there and tenor there in 3rds. Right, so well done if you've got any of these right, especially if you've got a lot of them right. We're moving on now. The next 7 questions, we have 8 bell sounds, so it's even harder. The tenor is still the same note, I believe, but the treble is obviously going to be 2 bells, 2 notes higher in the scale. So might need to listen to this a couple of times to pick out that highest note. Now it's actually a different note because there's 8 bells. So this is question 9. Here we go. Oh, no, that's not right. Don't know why that one played. That was from a different round. Here's question 9. Try again. There we go. It certainly took me a while to warm into that to begin with. It just couldn't pick out the different notes, but the more I listen to it, the more I get the shape and the peaks and the troughs. So do go back, click back, rewind to listen to that again. Here's the answer though, if you've already done that or you don't need to. The treble was in 4th place and the tenor was in 7th place. So well done if you got that. Moving on then to question 10. I find it quite hard to pick it out as it starts. I'm not expecting it to start, so my count goes wrong. But that's why it's really important that you have that hand stroke gap, so that if you do fluster the count, then you just wait for that little pause, and then you can start the count again at 1. So if you have already done your rewinding, let's hope so. Here's the answer, question 10. The treble was right at the end in 8th place, and the tenor was up near the front in 2nd place. Well done if you got that. Right, question 11. Right, that was question 11. And just give a second for people who want to rewind. And now here's the answer. Question 11. The tenor was in 4th place, then it jumps up to the treble in 5th place. Okay, just 4 left to go. Question 12, here it is. Okay, that was question 12. So just a second before we give the answer, so you've got a chance to go back, listen to it again. That's long enough. Here's the answer. We actually started with the tenor in 1st place and the treble was in 4th place. Well done if you got that. Question 13. Here's the sound. Okay, that's question 13. Time to rewind. Hopefully you've done that and you're on your second run through now, or you haven't bothered, you didn't need to, because here's the answer. It was the treble in 3rd place and the tenor at the back. Last 2 questions. Question 14. Okay, I think this is a bit of a tricky one. Go back and listen to it again. If you're struggling to count that one, I'll tell you why when we do the answers, because it will give it away if I told you why it was tricky. So here we are for the answer. Question 14. The tenor is in 3rd place. The treble is in 6th place. The reason this is hard is that this is the 1, the 2's there, the bell number 3 is there, and then 4 and 5 are here. So if you're not careful, what you can do is you can sort of hear the hand stroke, and then you get sort of like rounds here. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as you go from the back of the hand strokes to the first ones of the backstroke. But it can run through and sound like that's sort of in order, because it is, but it's sort of starting a new stroke. So that's why it's really important that if you are getting a bit lost, wait for that little pause. That's the hand stroke gap, that little pause where the backstroke finishes, and then it starts again, and just restart your count when that happens, so that you don't get tricked by the tenor being in a funny place, or the bells running in an almost order, but a broken order that can confuse you. Right, question 15, the last one in this round. Okay, that was question 15. Rewind if you need to. If not, here is the answer. The treble was in 4th place and the tenor was in 7th. Well done if you made it through all of those. Obviously, you can add up your score, see how well you did. And if you're not sure about some, you can go back and listen to them again. There's one more video with round 4 and a sneaky round 5. But I'll tell you about round 5. We're not going to do that on YouTube, but I'll tell you about that in the final video if you're going to join us. For now, ta-ra.